service, but I ended up just spending 10 days on camp when I was decamped. I never knew that was possible. What happened? These gentlemen came to the orientation camp and they were lecturing us on why corpers should not participate in smuggling, corpers should not participate in election rigging. They listed so many things, and they introduced themselves as men of the State Department. So when it was the time for question and answers, and I just stood up, the radicalism from me from school was still there, not well, managed. So I just stood up, introduced myself and bombarded them with these questions. I guess I made them stupid at the end of the day, because the way the lead person was shifting on his chair, while my fellow corpers were hailing and cheering me to destruction. Later, played in my mind. But the bottom line is, when it was my time to ask them questions, I told them, look, why are you bothering us? We're just coming to the real life. You are coming to us that we should not stop smuggling, we should stop, don't participate in election rigging. I said, I believe you are SSS. That's what we call them then, State Security Service, SSS. I believe you are SSS. So if you are SSS, you should know the smugglers. You should know the election riggers. What are you doing about them? Tell us. What are these examples you have made us to see? The detriment to deterrent to smuggling, deterrent to election rigging. All these people, they are the people some of your people are even guiding. So what have you done to stop it in the society? You are now coming to tell us that we should not participate. Those who are doing it, we have not seen anything you have done contrary to deal with them and make them, deterrent to others. Corpers now, hey, clapping for me. And they did their best to answer. They didn't look ruffled or perturbed, except for the body language I talked about earlier. But the following morning, at the orientation, at the grand, parade ground, yes, at the parade ground, from the orientation broadcasting service, I just had my name. Adeniyi Rotimi Akifenwa reports to the OBS. Adeniyi Rotimi Akifenwa report to the OBS. Sincerely speaking, the excitement on the parade ground, all your friends, all the things you do before the military guys come to take over. Those times there was no social media, but there are things, there were social activities and others. I belong to the drama group, the fellowship on camp, and a few things like that. So I just went, not thinking why would they call people occasionally like that. It was on my 10th day. I went to the OBS and I saw that there was a file before the man there, or was it the woman? I can't even remember. Okay, so for so reason, we review your file and we discover that you are not qualified to be in this camp. I was, what? So sorry, we have to collect all our kits from you and the money given to you. I said, what? Which money? Which kit? Said, you'll be marched to your hostel to carry all your things, and like play. They collected all their crested vests, their car, everything from you, except the money. I said, I've spent the money, because I was calculating to how do I now leave this place. That was how I was decamped. But like the Yorubas say, àjẹ́ ké lánàá, ọmọ kú lénìí. Tani ó mọ̀ pé àjẹ́ tó ké lánàá ló pa ọmọ tó kú lénìí. The witch, rowed yesterday and the child died today. You don't need a soothsayer to know that it was the witch of yesterday that killed the child of today. So summary. But that was military regime. That was during the military regime. I was decamped for challenging the SSS, we call them DSS now. I was summarily discharged, dismissed from my youth service for challenging the military, the DSS guys. It was a military regime. Now we are in a democracy, but many of the bylaws, many of the rules of engagement, they have not changed. They were as given to us by the military administration when youth service started. So, looking at that critically, you now say, was it right for Corper USHIE to make such viral, to make such video and make it public? I will say it is wrong. It is wrong for a youth corper because you are a paramilitary officer with the Nigerian government. The rules that apply to somebody like me, I can say Mr. President is a terrible president. I can say any other thing. Under a democratic government, I have freedom of speech. Does not fully apply to her as a youth corps member. But as a Nigerian, she has that right. Now, because this is a democratic government, you now expect the handling of this case, because their rules are paramilitary rules. The handling of this case will have gone a lot better than this. It doesn't matter whether what she did was right or not. It will have been maturely handled than issuance of threat to her. Because many people are feeling the pains of Nigeria, so you understand why so many people will follow her. But I had to be more objective, more critical. I went to her page and I saw that even before making that video, she has a political stand that is evident from the review of her timeline on TikTok. So that brings another dimension to it. Does that take away her fundamental right to freedom of speech? No. But as a youth corper, for that 1 year or 11 months, there are restrictions to your freedom of speech in public. There are restrictions to what you can say or do. But what I expected the leadership on NYSC, the leadership of Nigeria, is, are these people really going through pains and hardship? If yes, what can we do to resolve this as soon as possible? You understand? In public relations, particularly political public relations, there are things you will do that you can turn what was meant for evil to become a PR stunt. Simple. Like the state director of NYSC in Lagos State will have invited her. They will arrange video. Oh, my daughter, sorry, this. Do you know you should not have done that? But anyway, the things you listed is part of the things we are already reviewing. We are planning on this, you know. And while she is going, they try, pending your next alawi, take this. You know, you have corrected her. You're not saying you are not insensitive to the plight and other corpers like her. And at the same time, you have made the public to know that you did something, but not to threaten her life, not to make her more miserable. Many of those people that are doing it, they are not even sent by Mr. President. Mr. President, before he became the president, 100%, I can say it assuredly, he will have been the first person to send for the girl as the leader of the opposition, give her money, take pictures with her, you know, and added some more terrible adjective to describe the present administration when such a lady made such video. All the evidence are online now. They call Jonathan clueless. They even carried casket at Ojota during the oil subsidy removal protest in Lagos. They carry caskets. They were at the rally where some people were carrying caskets. They called him all manners of names. Were they in prison? Were they attacked? Nothing. But as a youth corper, she could have been my daughter. It is not allowed, because you are a paramilitary officer serving with the Nigerian government. That does not mean the government should not take its own responsibility. But it is just like member of the Civil Defense Corps or Nigerian Immigration Service or Correctional Service. It's just like any other member like that coming out to say Mr. President is a terrible president. How would you see that? You say it was wrong. So that is my own position, that she should not have done that. But it doesn't take the fact that they are going through a lot of suffering serving Nigeria. It doesn't change that fact. NYSC announces October last year that the minimum wage will be effected. Until now, the new minimum wage will be effected. Until now, it has not. They are still collecting their miserable 33,000 naira. What explanation does government have for that? They are suffering, claiming that they are serving Nigeria. They are suffering for Nigeria. Should they be? Those are pertinent questions that the leadership should first treat. Not that she just called Nigeria Tinubu terrible president. When people are going through a lot, they can say a lot too. So that's my position on this issue. It's not a partisan thing for me. It's not. Personally, Nigerians are suffering like they have never suffered before. And Mr. President, before he became president, he said, let Nigeria breathe. He is the one suffocating Nigeria with all the policies. That's my position on that. And I've said it at every opportunity I have. But on this girl's issue, they need to tender justice with mercy. We are in a democratic setting, and how they handle it can give them more friends or create more enemies. It's already trending, and I think the government is mishandling it. NYSC is mishandling it. There is a need for wisdom, there's a need for discernment, and the fatherly or motherly or the parental instinct should guide them in handling this, not the NYSC rule. That's my position. Thank you for listening to me. I remain Adeniyi Rotimi Johnson. God bless you.